leave office on May 29, 2023 at the expiration of his 8-year tenure. Plus, on the news on party politics, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, say the party has achieved 80% consensus and ready for national convention. And when we take you outside Nigeria, Russian court gives lengthy prison terms to managers and fire safety chiefs for a leisure center inferno that killed 60 people. Those are top stories. We bring you details now. A very warm welcome to you and many thanks for joining us once again. We begin with stories from the Federal Capital Territory as President Muhammadu Buhari says he will leave office on May 29, 2023 at the expiration of his 8-year tenure. The president, who swore in accordance with the Constitution, told those campaigning for tenure elongation to desist as a practice is unconstitutional. The President Muhammadu Buhari, who made the declaration at a meeting in Makkah in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, expressed support to increase the role of technology in the nation's election. And away from that, to party politics, the Court of Appeal sitting in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, has ordered the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to go on with its planned national convention unhindered. This was following the dismissal of the application of Uche Secondus seeking the suspension of the party's convention scheduled for 30 and 31st of October. The three-man appeal panel led by Justice Haruna Simon Samini held that Secondus' application was only aimed at distracting the party from going on with the convention, adding that it was targeting to recontest for the same office it was sacked from. Justice Gabriel Kolawole, reading the decision of the court on behalf of the panel, recalled that the application, which it termed consequential, was filed on the 14th of October and all arguments on the matter taken on the 28th after some amendments. Counsel to both parties addressed journalists on the way forward. We'll stay with that story. As governors under the People's Democratic Party, PDP, say the party has achieved 80% consensus for the 21 elective party offices being contested for. After a meeting attended by all the 13 PDP governors, the chairman of the PDP Governors Forum and Governor of Sokoto State, Aminu Tambuwal, said consensus is key in building democracy. Tambuwal stated that the convention would hold as scheduled, adding that everything has been put in place to ensure the success of the exercise.
Once again, the chairman of the convention committee brought us up to speed on how prepared they are by the grace of God for us to hold our convention. Part of what we've discussed is the process of building consensus towards the convention. So far we can say that with certainty we have achieved no less than 80% of that process, and it's still ongoing, and we're hoping that at the end of the day we're going to have a very hitch-free convention.
And still other stories, 3,600 delegates will on Sunday elect a new National Working Committee for the People's Democratic Party, PDP, at the elective convention slated to hold at the Eagle Square, Abuja. Chairman of the National Convention Organizing Committee and Governor of Adamawa State, Hamadu Fintiri, stated these at a media briefing held in Abuja Friday. The chairman noted that the party is not forcing anyone to step down.
As you can see, all the 15 subcommittees have been mobilized and they are fully preparing to deliver by tomorrow. Most of their activities have almost been completed and we are fully satisfied. At the moment, we're making efforts to reconcile most of our contestants so that we can streamline them and have a better convention, which will be hitch-free and
Meanwhile, the National Organizing Secretary, Colonel Austin Akubudun, says all is now set for the People's Democratic Party's National Convention. A visit to the Eagle Square venue of the convention shows the party is now ready for the event. Akubudun, while addressing journalists during a tour of the event, said the party expects a hitch-free convention.
You know, PDP is a well-established party. For congresses and convention, we have our well-laid-out templates that we follow. The main committee established subcommittees and gave out mandates and responsibilities, and also defined a point of interface for all subcommittees to come together. And we have been doing that. It's going to be seamless. Every subcommittee knows what to do at any particular time.
An appeal court sitting in Port Harcourt had on Friday struck out seeking to suspend the convention by the former national chairman of the party, Uche Secondus. Still on the news on Galaxy Television. We'll take a break now, but when we return, the Independent National Electoral Commission assures and reassures commitment and preparation to deliver free, fair, and credible election as the Commission adds 1,112 new polling units ahead of Anambra governorship election. That story gets our focus next. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now, for more updated and latest news, visit our website at www.galaxytvonline.com or subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/GalaxyTV Nigeria. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page. We are live at facebook.com/GalaxyTV. Don't forget to follow and tag us on our Instagram page. And you simply share your story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 0818-6666-669. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comments. The Independent National Electoral Commission reassures commitment and preparation to deliver free and credible election as the Commission adds 1,112 new polling units ahead of Anambra governorship election. ANEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu gave the assurance at a special consultative meeting with political parties at the Commission headquarters in Abuja. Professor Yakubu, who briefed the party chieftains on the recent successful conversion of voting points, said 1,112 polling units was established in Anambra State, marking a total of 5,720 units. River declared that voting will not take place in some of the polling units.
Out of the 5,720 polling units in Anambra State, 86 representing 1.5% have no voters at all. The Commission will not be deploying personnel and materials to these polling units.
Party Advisory Committee IPAC Dr. Leonard Nzenwa raised fears of possible voter apathy due to the security concerns in the southeastern part of the state. We'll move to other stories. Yet in Oyo State, as stakeholders in the All Progressive Congress APC in that state have agreed that the state congress of the party should be held 30 October 2021 after several postponements. Chairman of the Congress Committee, Gambo Lawan, while speaking with newsmen at the new party secretariat, Okeado, Ibadan, on Friday evening, said he had briefed stakeholders on the need for consensus.
It is up to Oyo people to go and do their consensus. That is the first option given to us by the party. And once they agree on consensus, tomorrow we'll just go to the field. Whether consensus or no consensus, we will definitely have to go to the field for the people to endorse it, whatever that has been done. So, but where there is no agreement, our best bet is to go for outright election. We came with the delegate list. We came with the World Congress and Local Government Congress results. I've handed over to them now, and that is what party gave me, and I'm going to use that tomorrow.
The chairman of the committee assured that either by consensus or voting, the exercise has been scheduled for tomorrow, 30 October 2021.
I have handed over to the chairman in front of all the stakeholders and then given him all the list. So as far as I'm concerned, I have of course all no consensus. If there is consensus, we'll do exclamation. And then if there is no consensus, we have the delegate list, we have the ballot papers, we have result sheet, we'll go for outright election.
He appealed to leaders and members of the party in the state to remain calm, adding that all issues surrounding the delegates list have been resolved. And now, to other matters, state governments are responsible for compensation on lands used for the execution of federal government projects in various states. Galaxy's Godfrey Shumoge reports that the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, made this submission Friday at the presentation and defense of the Ministry 2022 budget to the Senate Committee on Works.
It is clear that Land Use Act vests land in the state. It is clear that it is the person who acquires the land who is obliged to pay compensation. The power of acquisition is not in the federal government, pay compensation. The power of acquisition is not in the federal government, it is in the state governor. Whether it is exercised today or was exercised 30 years ago. So, ordinarily, the state governor is obliged to pay that compensation. It's not whether he has money, but there are so many other ways to deal with this.
Fashola also informed the committee that as part of efforts to address the controversies arising from compensation payment, third-party involvement has now been excluded.
In one instance now, I've put our foot down because in this case, compensation was in the agreement for the loan. But I've said we are not paying through any third party. Let all the beneficiaries go and open bank accounts. We'll pay into that account. I've already been accused now of denying them their legitimate income. The lawyers, the estate valuers, and the attorney. And I said, well, we have no obligation to third-party contracts. If we pay the beneficiary, let them pay you for work you have done for them.
He also said Nigeria requires 1.384 trillion naira for the execution of highway projects throughout the country, but the budget envelope of 282.6 billion naira is responsible for the general slow pace of work. Meanwhile, the sum of 450.029 billion naira is proposed for the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing and its parastatals as capital, personnel and overhead estimates in the 2022 appropriation bill. And now the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, wants insurgents and other non-state actors to either surrender their arms or face the consequences. The Army Chief gave the warning at the Nigerian Army School of Infantry, Jaji, during the induction of 60 Armored Personnel Carriers, APC, to the theater of operation. The acquisition of the new armored personnel carriers from China is to reposition the Nigerian Army in the counter-insurgency and counter-terrorism operations in the northeastern part of Nigeria. The new platforms, in addition to other military hardware, is a strategic move to ensure that normalcy is achieved in the country.
Nigerian Army, once again, is here to take over the newly acquired quantity 60 VP-1 Type 89 tracked armored personnel carriers manufactured in China by Norinco. It is an effort which is in line with the federal government's cardinal objective of tackling the totality of the security challenges facing our dear country, Nigeria. These platforms we commission here today is in addition to other equipment brought in for the purpose, and this underscores the strategic resolve to ensure that a state of normalcy is achieved across the length and breadth of Nigeria.
The Commandant, Nigerian Army School of Infantry, Major General Gazama Ali, said the new acquired armored carrier will bring an end to insecurity in the country.
The receipt of these dearly required armored personnel carriers over 3 months ago and the hands-on training that ensued with over 100 personnel is a clear indication that the end of insurgency is now. I must state that this equipment couldn't have come at a better time than now, that we needed it most. I assure the Chief of Army Staff that troops have been trained effectively on this equipment and the purpose for which they were purchased will be achieved.
And now a report here in Lagos says legal practitioners, Lagos-based Yemi Omodele and public affairs analyst Deyemi Saka have both insisted that the COVID-19 vaccination should remain free in all facility centers in Lagos State. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu had approved 6,000 naira for the administration of vaccines against coronavirus infection at private health facilities in the state. The lawyer and analyst on this premise noted that vaccine should be given at no cost in order to encourage people to take it.
The development that people want to be vaccinated in respect of COVID-19 should pay 6,000 naira in private facilities is rather uncalled for. And the vaccination, whether it's public or private, should be free of charge. Nobody should be charged for it because the vaccine, whether bought by the federal government, whether free donation by the United Nations or World Health Organization, is immaterial. But the person should be paid 6,000 naira to get himself vaccinated in a private facility is uncalled for.
This 6,000 naira at expenses, I don't know, people paying 6,000 naira at for what? What are they paying 6,000 naira for? Is it for using the private facilities? Is it the storage and the such private facilities? Are they the one procuring the vaccines for the private facilities, or are they the ones storing it? So I think I don't think there's any big deal in the government doing this for the Gaussians. What's the role of the government? What do they want to do?
They emphasized while speaking to Galaxy's Valerie Chioma, the vaccine should be made accessible to all Lagos residents and people should be sensitized on the importance of the vaccine.
Within the community, the chiefs, the baalies, the obas, the traditional rulers, so to say, should be carried along so that the councillors, the chairmen of local government be carried along so that within the local area, within their community, people will be educated about the importance of being vaccinated. They should
focus more on sensitization and they should do a lot of sensitization. But for me, I probably want to use this opportunity to tell Nigerians that there's nothing wrong with the vaccines. When we were growing up, a lot of us took the vaccination against yellow fever, polio, and what have you. So I don't see why this is an exception.
And now, away from that, a female student of Egba Odeda Secondary School in Odeda local government area of Ogun State was reportedly crushed to death on Thursday by a hit-and-run driver. The Ogun State Traffic Compliance and Enforcement Corps, TRACE, confirms the incident to Galaxy TV News. TRACE spokesperson Babatunde Akimbi said the schoolgirl was hit when she and her colleagues were about to cross the road as they were returning from school. It was said that the driver of the vehicle did not stop to take responsibility as the girl died in a pool of her blood on the spot. Akimbi disclosed that the body of the deceased schoolgirl was deposited at the morgue of Ogun State General Hospital in Odeda. While sympathizing with the family of the deceased, Justice Uche Agomo of the Federal High Court in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, has convicted 5 persons for criminal impersonation. The convicts, Ogumbayo Peter Oluwatobiloba, Charles Jude Albert, Kolawole Bankole Okpeyemi, Belio Tobiloba Abdullahi, and Obitokun Olugbade Salomon were found guilty of impersonation, an offense which contravenes Section 22, subsection 2B of the Cybercrime Prohibition Prevention Act 2015 and punishable under Section 22, 2B of the same Act. Bello and Kolawale were convicted and sentenced to 10 months imprisonment each. Ogunbayo, 9 months in prison, and Obitokun, 8 months, while Arbat was sentenced to 5 months in prison. They had earlier pleaded guilty to their respective charges in line with the conditions of the plea bargain agreement reached with the Commission. Justice Agum also ordered Kolawale to restitute his victim the sum of 5,100 United States dollars. And in Kaduna State, no fewer than 1,000 people displaced in Kaduna State. Traditional ruler Achiab Chief Dominic Yahaya said 6 persons were killed in Zagon Kataf local government area of the state. The traditional ruler said these during a visit to the various internally displaced persons IDP camps in the area. It therefore calls on security agencies to bring an end to killing in the region. And a report in Delta State says 2 persons are confirmed dead while several others injured from a communal clash between the Delta communities of Okwagbe and Owawa in Huheli South local government area of the state over land dispute. The boundary dispute between the communities, lingering for years despite intervention by the state government, started again last night, killing 2 and the injured rushed to various hospitals. When contacted, the Delta police spokesperson Edafe Bride confirmed the incident but said could not ascertain if the number of those who lost their lives were more than 2 and the communities they represent. Meanwhile, normalcy has been returned to the communities as security agents have taken over all entry and exit points leading to the communities. Still on the news on Galaxy Television, we'll take yet another break. When we return, we'll bring you more reports. Stay with us, please. Many thanks for staying with us. Now to a report here in Ogun State, says Tai Solarin University of Education, TASUED, Ijagun, on Friday, shut down the institution over students' unrest. The management directed all students to vacate the university's campuses immediately. Soldiers attached to the barracks of the Nigerian Army in Ilese were said to have stopped some students riding in their cars to check their phones. This reportedly led to a disagreement between the students and the military men on Thursday. The Students' Union government president at TASUED, Sadiq Ridwan, was said to have arrived at the scene to calm the situation, but was also arrested with other students. On Friday morning, students took to the streets to protest what they called illegal arrest and detention of their colleagues by some military men. The Vice-Chancellor of the university, Professor Wally Banjo, was said to have visited the barracks to secure the release of some of the students arrested by the soldiers on Thursday, but a statement by the public relations officer, Odubela, said the Senate of the university held an emergency meeting over the crisis, directing all students to vacate the university's premises immediately. The university advised parents to contact their wards and ensure they return home immediately. Still in Ogun State, the Olu of Ilaro and paramount ruler of Yewa land, Oba Kehinde Olugbenle, gave reasons for the honorary traditional title of Aremo of Yewa land given to the senator representing Lagos West, Solomon Olamilekan Adeola. The monarch said Senator Adeola, otherwise known as Yayi, has not only contributed immensely to the development and growth of Yewa land, but identified with his zone as his place of origin. Speaking to newsmen, leader of delegation Michael Ogudimu thanked Oba Olugbenle for the conferment of the Aremo title on Yayi.
My son is given the chieftaincy title of Aremu of Yewa land. People were grudging about it, but it has been confirmed now by the Kabesi that he has done it. That anybody that wants to make any cause of problem should meet him in the court.
And now, the Ogun State Commissioner for Agriculture, Dr. Adeola Odedino, says the agricultural policy document of 1989 aimed at securing food and nutrition future undergoes review. Correspondent John Felix tells us more on this report.
For a successful agricultural system and ultimately for food security, good institutional capacity and review of agricultural development policies remains key. The Ogun State government, in partnership with German corporation GIZ, has reviewed the Ogun State agricultural policy of 1989. Speaking to Galaxy TV News after the handover ceremony, Commissioner for Agriculture in Ogun State, Dr. Adeola Odedino, says the reviewed agricultural document is an indication that the future of agriculture in the state is secured.
This is another plus for Ogun Agri, that we are able to present a document that will lay the foundation for food and nutrition security for job in the near future. And anywhere in the world, you don't work alone. You depend on the strength of your partner. And one of the agenda, the roadmap approved by Mr. Governor of Agriculture in Ogun State is that we are going to be relying on the strength of local, national, and international partners. So we've worked with GIZ on Tomapep, on rice and cassava, and it's good that we are working with them to provide a draft policy report for Ogun Agri, which we are also going to take to higher authority. We're taking to ESCO, we're taking it to National Assembly, but this is the first step of reviewing agricultural policy documents in Ogun State.
Dr. Odedino further speaks on the implementation of the document. He assures the involvement of every stakeholders.
We visited all the local government area in Ogun State, and agricultural stakeholders in the state made input into this. This is a document, and they will be very happy to be part of the implementation. And the implementation is going to lead to our goals of agriculture in Ogun State. What we desire for agriculture: food, nutrition, job, industrialization.
On his part, the national consultant, GIZ, Professor Kolawole Adebayo, says the reviewed agricultural policy document positions Ogun State for greater innovations as the missing gaps has been identified.
The document that we have today now presents Ogun State in the forefront of agricultural transformation. One, in terms of innovativeness. This current document allows greater innovativeness. So if you want to go into ICT, if you want to go into climate smart agriculture, if you want to go into greenhouse technology, if you want to go into a mixture of agroforestry, this current document recognizes all of that. These are things that has happened in the world since 1989 that has changed the way we do business. And I think with this new document, Ogun State is ready to lead others into the new agricultural transformation era.
With this document, the Ogun State agricultural policy is further strengthened for development, employment promotion, and food security in the state. From Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, John Felix reporting for Galaxy Television News.
Still on news on Galaxy Television, we'll take yet another break. When we return, we'll bring you more reports. Stay with us.
And here is a unique opportunity to be one of Galaxy Television eyewitness reporters. If you have breaking news around you, why wait to share it? Just avail our Galaxy News Eyewitness feature by sending your stories via WhatsApp now. All you need to do is send clips of the news around you as they break to 0818-6666-669. You can also stand a chance of getting 2,000 naira worth of airtime if your story is used. Galaxy Television Eyewitness Reporters, breaking news around you from your perspective.
Many thanks for staying with us. We're back. And now to sport-related matters, Northwest Zonal Representative of Badminton Federation of Nigeria, Mohammed Maina, reaffirms his support for grassroots sport development. Maina stated this at the opening ceremony of the 3 days Northwest Badminton competition, holding in Kaduna over 200 players in Kaduna for the maiden edition of the championship, which is aimed at getting a new set of players for the country. Some players who spoke to newsmen shared their experiences on the competition.
Bring this to the notice of the player that they should calm down, and they should humble themselves and play the game of badminton, because this one is just like a stepping stone. You understand? From here, we are thinking of organizing even a higher tournament that will involve the whole northern zone. Then from that, we are getting the representative that will represent the north or Nigeria.
We're expecting a total development, a total grassroots development. And by tomorrow, you also see the veterans in action. So it's made up of all categories.
Actually, this game is a game of experience. We are getting a lot of experience here because you meet a lot of people from different states. For example, like Kano, Kaduna, Zaria, and also from Zamfara and Sokoto.
Meanwhile, Benue State indigenous basketball players has called for the immediate removal of the state chairman, Benue State Basketball Association, Colonel Sam Ahmedu. The group, led by Musa Ibrahim, during a protest today in Makurdi, alleged undue disposition of Colonel Sam Ahmedu. The group marched to the office of the Secretary to the State Government, SSG, with placards of various inscriptions. Ahmedu, in his response, said he will continue to do his best. And here in Lagos, government waste disposal agencies now find it challenging to monitor and manage waste disposal throughout the country due to the increasing amount of waste generated in the country. Galaxy's Valerie Chema has more to tell on this report.
Improper refuse dumping has become a common sight in the city of Lagos. Busy streets, beautiful roads, marred with the ugly sight of refuse. What is the right way to go? Well, if you ask me, dispose them off properly, I would say. Lagos is the largest city in Nigeria with a population of roughly 23.5 million people as of 2018. The special advisor to the Lagos State government on drainage, Joe Ibekwe, gives an insight to the tons of waste the city generates in a day.
Lagos generates about 18,000 metric tons of refuse on a daily basis. And our trucks work in the night. They work in the night. We have 3 transloading stations. All they do is to take those refuse to that place in the afternoon, morning till evening. Then in the dead of the night, when you have less traffic, they will now start moving. We'll have one in Simpson, in Lyland. We'll have one in Oshodi. We'll have one in Agege. Transloading stations. You put it there in the night, they will now start moving it to the dump sites.
How exactly is the proper way to dispose waste? two Lagos-based environmentalists have this to say.
One way to dispose your waste now, in consideration of present realities, is to sort your waste from home into the different elements, and now make them available for the different categories of state agencies that deal with the different waste to come and evacuate them.
It starts from your household. It starts from where you stay. If you're able to put your waste together and dispose them in the proper manner, I can assure you that if a household does this, and from the household the community, and from the community the different local governments, if they can carry this out and manage it properly, you find out that we'll have a greener and a better Lagos.
Improper waste disposal can also have adverse health effects on humans, as over the years it has been responsible for causing several diseases. Unfortunately, this practice has been identified as one of the main causes of pollution and is becoming a growing concern for both the government and environmentalists, as it poses serious threats to health and the environment.
Government is not able to properly manage waste. It leads to citizens indiscriminately disposing their waste. And when citizens do that, there are a lot of repercussions, there are a lot of challenges or crises that arise from that. This will include blocked drainages. When the drainages are blocked, it will lead to flooding. When the floodings come, floodings will lead to bad roads, because you remember the Lagos State is a coastal city.
They are numerous. For example, you know of what's happening in Lagos with the flooding and everything. 70% is from irresponsible disposal of waste. When you dispose waste irresponsibly, you block the drainage. And then when you block the drainage, what happens? Water cannot flow. And when water cannot flow, you know water is not stagnant. It will surely look for a way to flow out. And that is how we have these flooding issues that we're having everywhere. Also, too, you all know that a clean environment contributes to good health. So when the environment is dirty, you become sick. You attract rodents and all that comes around, and then it makes you sick. And then also too, you won't be able to have fresh air to breathe, because the whole place will be smelling from rot.
So when next you're about to dispose waste, always remember to do so properly. Valerie Chioma, Galaxy TV News, Lagos.
And now it's time for us to link up with our international desk for more reports. Stay with us.
Welcome to news from the international scene. A Russian court has handed down lengthy prison terms to managers and fire safety chiefs blamed for a leisure center in Fano that killed 60 people. The fire engulfed the top floor of the Winter Cherry Mall in March 2018 in the Siberian city of Kemerovo. The cause was a short circuit in the lightning for a children's play area, and 37 of those killed were children. 8 people were under jail terms on Friday. 3 other criminal cases concerning the fire remain in progress. The investigation concluded that Yulia Bogdanova, ex-CEO of the firm that owned the mall, and other managers had violated the leisure center's fire safety regulation. Bogdanova received a 14-year jail sentence, while Nazenda Sudenok, CEO of the Winter Cherry Company, which ran the mall, got 13.5 years. Prosecutors said Bogdanova ignored fire safety rules to save money. Sudenok and Sobolev helped her in that cover-up. Poluzinenko knew of the safety defects and asked Bogdanova to pay for improvement, but she refused, the prosecutor said. Poluzinenko then failed to report the neglect to any officials who could have acted on it. Bogdanova, Sudenok, Sobolev and Poluzinenko admitted partial guilt for the disaster. Their lawyers are appealing against the sentences. Meanwhile, prosecutors said Security Chief Anyut Shin saw the fire outbreak via CCTV but switched off the fire alarm and failed to rescue people trapped behind the exits, which he knew were locked. Many of those who died were stuck in a cinema and quickly overcome by smoke. The United Nations has warned France it could take retaliatory measures if Paris presses ahead with threatening sanctions amid an acrimonious post-Brexit roll over fishing rights. British Environment Secretary George Eustace said on Friday that London reserved the right to respond to any action in a proportionate way. With the two sides at loggerheads over the number of licenses the United Kingdom have handed French vessels keen to fish in its territorial waters. Paris has accused the United Kingdom of unfairly restricting trawlers from operating in its waters around the Channel Island of Jersey, a British Crown dependency that lies 22 kilometers off the coast of France. It says London's action violates the post-Brexit agreement the United Kingdom signed in December 2020, 11 months after it formally left the European Union on January 31st last year. Under the deal, European Union trawlers seeking to fish in British waters following the United Kingdom's departure from the bloc had to apply for new licenses to do so. London was obliged to provide those licenses provided the boats could prove that they had operated in the waters prior to Brexit. Negotiations between the United Kingdom and the European Commission, the European Union's executive arm, over the dispute are continuing. On Wednesday, French officials warned that Paris will bar United Kingdom's fishing boats from designated ports and tighten custom checks on British goods entering France from November 2 unless an acceptable agreement is reached before then. France has also suggested it may restrict energy supplies to Jersey because of the disagreement. Still on the international scene, in his latest report to the United States Congress, the Special Investigator General for Afghanistan's reconstruction has detailed Washington's decision to cut off the Taliban's government's access to billions in funds and assets that has led to devastation across the cash-strapped nation. The top watchdog report says that over the 20 years United States occupation, Washington spent $146 billion in Afghanistan's reconstruction, including $89 billion on training and supporting the country's national security forces, which no longer exist. The report goes on to say that other reconstruction objectives, such as to assist women and girls or to establish the rule of law, are under direct threat from the new Taliban regime. After the Taliban toppled the Western-led government in the middle of August, the United States, along with international bodies, including the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund, decided to cut off Afghanistan's access to more than $9.5 billion in assets and loans. The decision has had a devastating effect on Afghanistan healthcare and other sectors, all of which are struggling to continue operation amid cutback to international aid. According to the World Bank, approximately 14 million people, 1 out of 3 Afghans, were on the brink of starvation due to the aid cut until the end of next month. Until the end of the last month. However, the harsh winter fast approaching, Ben Shah said the Afghan people are paying a huge price because of the slow pace of diplomatic processes and negotiation. Lastly, on the international scene, President Joe Biden has arrived in Europe ahead of next week's key United Nations Climate Summit, with his signature climate policy yet to pass through the U.S. Congress. The president's $1.75 trillion Build Back Better social welfare package includes more than $500 billion of spending on green policies. Before leaving Washington, Mr. Biden described the measures as historic, but differences among Democrats means it is unlikely to pass before the summit. It's a framework that will create millions of jobs, grow the economy, invest in our nation and our people, turn the climate crisis into an opportunity, Mr. Biden said in a TV address from the White House. The president heads for the COP26 Global Climate Summit in Scotland on Sunday, but his first stop was the Vatican, where he has been meeting the Pope after arriving in the early hours of Friday. He will also attend the G20 summit of major economies in Rome. Its Build Back Better legislation covers a wide range of extra funding for health and childcare, education, and clean energy reforms. The green spending could seek to dramatically slash U.S. greenhouse gas emission by 2020, provide new tax break for electric vehicles, and roll out installation for solar panels on American homes. The president had hoped to have the package passed in time for COP20, which begins in Glasgow on Monday. And that's it from news from the international scene.
And now away from the international scene, we bring you entertainment reports.
Five times Tiwa Savage got involved in major controversies. Female music superstar Tiwa Savage has served her team and fans a number of evergreen songs, and she's not slowing down in Savage delivering hits. The Somebody Son crooner is not only thriving on the musical prowess alone, but she also has got herself involved in a number of high-profile scandals. 1. Tiwa Savage and Iblis. 1. Tiwa Savage and ex-husband T-Bliss, Tunji Balogun, popularly known as T-Bills, have made headlines with Tiwa Savage when they accused her of nutrition that almost moved him to commit suicide at a Lagos lagoon. Tiwa Savage defended herself by granting a long interview where she exposed T-Bliss' extravagant lifestyle even without having a definite job. She also revealed that there are cases of domestic violence in her home. Tiwa burst to tears in the long video that got everyone talking. The marital crisis eventually led to the end of their marriage, and they have a child called Jamil Balogun together. Tiwa Savage and Wizkid. Tiwa seemed to have affinity for Balogun after dumping the previous Balogun ex-husband. She jumped to musical artist Ayo Balogun, better known as Wizkid. They shared a lot of friendship goals together, and they always refer each other as besties. The fans felt there was more to this friendship because of their intimacy, but Tiwa and Wizzy never cared. They were always in cozy videos and photos. Tiwa even acted as a vixen in one of Wizkid's musical videos, Fever, and she bared major part of her body as the music star rocks each other in the video. Tiwa's role in Wizkid Fever video got wild criticism from fans because of the amount of flesh she displayed. Tiwa and Wizkid stopped rolling together without a major reason known to Tiwa Savage and Obama DMW. When Tiwa left Wizkid, she became closer to another superstar, Davido. Many fans thought it was because their children, Imadi and Jamil, attend the same school. The pregnancy rumor with Obama DMW spread like wildfire, and many fans slandered Tiwa for stooping so low, a rumor which she later debunked. Obama DMW died a few months after the pregnancy rumors, and Tiwa penned an emotional note to pay tribute to him. Tiwa Savage and Seyi Shay. Both are arguably the biggest female artists in Nigeria, hence the rivalry is understandable. The duo were never friends, and they will always pass up two jibes at each other in their musical lyrics. Things were that way between them until Tiwa and Seyi clashed at the Lagos salon, and they rained abuses on each other. Tiwa also cursed in the name of her son during the heated clash and claimed Seyi and Victoria Kimani always go out to spoil her good name and pass abusive words to her in their lyrics. Thanks to the people at the salon, there would have been an exchange of blows. Nigerians reacted to the two stars' public show, and Seyi came out afterwards to defend herself. And the last one is Tiwa Savage leaked intimate tape. A tape that contains Tiwa Savage intimate time with a new unnamed lover has been leaked to the public. The singer owned up that she was the one in the tape, and she has no regret over it. She, however, claimed that it was leaked by a blackmailer who demanded a huge sum of money from her. Tiwa urged her fans to brace up for the lashing that would come after the tape and said she can imagine the memes that would follow.
And with those entertainment news, we bring the news bulletin to an end at the moment. But for more update and latest news, visit our website at www.galaxytvonline.com or subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/GalaxyTV Nigeria. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/GalaxyTV. Don't forget to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at GalaxyTV. You can also avail our eyewitness feature via WhatsApp. If you have breaking news around you, simply share your story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 0818-6666-669. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comments. And that's your news on Galaxy Television. Many thanks for staying with us. And let's do this again some other time. My name is Tife Tanemo.